One question: if you could choose just one number, which number would set you free? Most people immediately say, my salary. Some say, my savings. But in 2026, the number that controls you the most is hidden somewhere else. I call it your freedom number because that number shows how easily you can breathe. The strangest part is this: most people have never calculated this number, so they don't fully know what they're chasing. You can work more and earn more, but you can still feel a quiet anxiety inside because the feeling of freedom doesn't come from income alone. Sometimes the problem isn't your salary, it's the speed of your expenses. Your salary goes up, but your expenses grow right along with it. Then you start thinking, I'm doing something wrong. But most of the time, the mistake isn't you, it's the system. If your expenses grow faster than your income, freedom moves farther away. And no matter how hard you try, it feels like you're standing still. In this video, I'm going to make that crystal clear for you. Now listen carefully. Financial freedom doesn't mean being rich. It's not luxury cars, monthly travel, or expensive brands. Real freedom is something much simpler. It's being able to pay for your life without selling your time. Meaning you wake up tomorrow and say, I don't want to work today, and your life doesn't fall apart. For a lot of people, that sounds like a dream, but every dream starts with one number. That number is your monthly survival cost. Sometimes I call it your minimum living level, because it's the simplest, most honest form of real life. No fantasy, just truth. This isn't what you spend when you feel good, and it's not your most comfortable month. It's simply what you need to survive. Rent or mortgage, utilities, food, transportation, those all count. Minimum debt payments count too, and unavoidable costs like insurance, phone, and internet also go in. Let's simplify it with a symbol. Let's say aspiration, monthly survival cost. M is like your freedom anchor. The heavier the anchor, the harder the ship can move. If M is high, freedom becomes expensive. If M is controlled, freedom becomes reachable. Now we get to the most important part. Here's the 2026 freedom formula. Freedom number MX freedom months. It's that simple, but the impact is huge because this formula makes you focus on time, not money. Money can feel confusing, but time is clear to everyone. Everyone understands what 3 months really feels like. Now think of it as 3 levels. Level 1 is 3 months of freedom. Level 2 is 12 months of freedom. Level 3 is lifelong freedom. In 2026, you need to know which one you're building, because if you don't know your goal, your steps will get messy too. Let's make it real. Say your M is $1,200 per month, then 3 months of freedom is $3,600, and 12 months of freedom is $14,400. That means even if you lose your job, you don't panic immediately. It gives you time to breathe. Now think about someone else. They earn $5,000 a month, but their M is $4,800. From the outside, they look rich, but inside, they're chained because their freedom number is incredibly expensive. The moment a small problem hits, stress begins. They don't feel free because expenses tighten around their neck, like a rope. That's why the game isn't only earn more. The game is also control M. First, you bring expenses under control, then you increase income, because if M is uncontrolled, extra income disappears too. And you end up feeling the same thing again. I've seen this happen to so many people. Now you might ask, how do I find my M? I'll give you a simple method that takes 3 minutes. Open your notes and write these categories: housing, utilities, food, transport, minimum debt payments, insurance, phone, internet, other essentials. Then write your real numbers from last month, exactly as they were, no guessing, real numbers. The most important rule here is don't lie to yourself because freedom loves the truth. Second rule, if you could survive without it, don't include it in M. Netflix is a choice, restaurants are a choice, and often new clothes are a choice too. We're calculating survival, not desires. It sounds strict, but that's exactly what gives you power. When you add it all up, you'll get one number. That number is your M. From that moment on, you finally know what your real target is. But here's the thing. In 2026, three big enemies attack this number: inflation, interest, and lifestyle creep. If you don't manage them, your freedom number will run away from you. Inflation is the first enemy. It quietly pushes your costs upward. Interest is the second enemy, especially high-interest debt. It punishes your money every month like an invisible tax. The third enemy is lifestyle creep, raising your spending as your income rises. And then you end up right back where you started. That's why motivation isn't enough. You need a system. Motivation is there one day and gone the next, but a system moves you in the same direction every day. The first rule is this: put a limit on your fixed expenses. Fixed expenses are the biggest enemy of freedom. They show up when you're tired, sick, or unemployed. They don't care. Set a ceiling for your housing and utility costs. Even if your income increases, don't raise that ceiling immediately, because freedom starts with breathing on lower costs. The second rule is about debt. Kill high-interest debt first. Debt is the negative side of freedom. It's working for your past. If your bucket has holes, no matter how much water you pour in, it won't fill up. So the first goal isn't always save more. Sometimes the first goal is stop the leak, and that leak is interest. When you reduce interest, your budget instantly feels lighter. The third rule is about a buffer. I call it your freedom buffer. A lot of people rush into investing, but they don't have a buffer. Then a problem happens, and they're forced to sell investments at the worst possible time. So in 2026, keep the first milestone simple. Build a cash buffer equal to 3 months of M. That's your insurance, and it kills panic. When you have a buffer, your decisions become calmer. Now let's talk about lifelong freedom. Most people call this financial independence. Here too, it's still about one number, just at a bigger scale. You calculate your yearly survival cost. YEMX12. That's your minimum cost for 1 year. Then you build your target around it. Your plan becomes real instead of emotional. As a classic planning tool, many people use YX25. Others take a more cautious approach and use YX30. These numbers aren't a promise. They're like a compass. They show direction and help you understand where you stand. The goal isn't to argue about the multiplier. The goal is to change the way you think. You're building an asset base that can pay for your living costs, so you can live without selling your time. That's the whole point. Now let me summarize it in one sentence. Lower M. Build a 3-12-month buffer, then invest toward GX25 or GIR30. That's it. The rest is detail. The details can change based on your country, income, and family situation, but the direction stays the same. Now I'm giving you a 7-day challenge, so you can act immediately. Day 1, calculate your M and write it down. Just see it clearly. Day 2, choose one fixed cost and put a limit on it. Day 3, choose one debt and start with the highest interest one. Day 4, set up automatic transfers, even small ones. Day 5, build a no-panic budget and plan essentials first. Day 6, take one real step toward a second income stream. Update your CV, write a service offer, choose a skill, apply somewhere, anything real. Day 7, recalculate your freedom number and see the difference. And at the end, remember this: 2026 isn't about being perfect. It's about not being trapped. Freedom isn't a one-day thing, but it starts with one number. So I'll ask you again, what's your freedom number? If you don't want to share the exact number, share a range, like 900, 1200, and I'll tell you what level you're at and what your next focus should be. And if you want more videos like this, subscribe to Phoenix, because in the next video, we'll talk about how to lower your freedom number in 30 days. Real steps, simple steps, steps that fit real life. And when you start doing them, life truly gets